Now, I've been wanting to make this video for a very good while now, and ever since I saw the clip of the season finale of the Lucifer Netflix series, I knew that I had to speak on this because the vast majority of people miss this. The vast majority of people don't even really understand what it is that truly transpired. So when I saw the clip, right, it infuriated me, but not for the reason that most people would think. So it's not because of the surface level of interpretation of the devil winning, right? It's much deeper than that, and what people fail to realize about the devil is that the deception is deep and layered and convoluted, right? There's a reason why he's called the father of lies, right? He's like master of deception, but it's so much more deeper than that, because what transpired is so coverted. It's kind of hidden the true meaning, which is really, really, really bad. I believe that we still live in a society and in a culture in the world that if this was overtly done, like if it was done outright, it would not stand. People would not have let it slide. People would not have allowed this to transpire. So I'm gonna go into what really happened and what it really means, because this is something that everybody missed. And I'm talking about like even regular Christians, people who watch this in passing, people who either are really into it, and people like me who probably just saw something and watched it unironically. It doesn't matter. Most people know that Lucifer or his backstory is from the Bible. So I'm going to use the Bible to show and illustrate what it is really happened. So in the season finale, we see the devil or Lucifer battling Michael the Archangel, which leads him to winning and becoming the ruler of earth, right? And people bow down to him. So how about answering this simple question? So I want you to answer this simple question in your hearts. Who does Lucifer need to defeat in order to rule over earth? Right? And what does your heart say? Now, in your minds, you're thinking, but he defeated Michael the Archangel. So here's the complex question that I'm going to answer now for your minds. Who is Michael the Archangel? So there are only 3 books in the Bible that mentions Michael the Archangel. That is Daniel, Jude, and Revelation. And I'm going to use verses from each book to depict the true character of Michael. So in Revelation chapter 12 verses 7 to 9 mentions Michael. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So Michael was at the head charge against Lucifer in heaven. This was literally the start of good versus evil, where there were war with the angels. 2/3 of the angels that remained loyal to God, headed by Michael, versus 1/3 of the angels who were deceived, headed by Lucifer. So no one can argue that the fact of the matter is that the war is between God and the devil, right? And I could literally hear you interjecting, but the Bible uses the name Michael, right? So let's look at the meaning of names. The name Michael means who is like God, and the name Lucifer means light bearer. So I tend to consider these names to be their angelic names, because once Lucifer was cast out of heaven down to earth, he was then referred to as the devil and Satan. So in that respect, names tend to define characteristics. So what are some of the characteristics of Michael? In Jude chapter 1 verse 9, it reads, "Yet Michael the Archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, The Lord rebuke thee." Michael doesn't argue with the devil by way of accusation. He doesn't play the blame game. How does Michael handle the devil? He simply rebukes him. So this particular verse does not expound on what happened to the body of Moses, but we know that according to the New Testament that Moses is indeed in heaven, which means that Moses was resurrected, and therefore at the reference of his body in the Bible was most likely the time at which it happened. Why else would the devil be disputing the body of Moses if not for the fact that it would be resurrected? And if Michael was the one there to resurrect Moses, then he had the power to do so. And finally, Michael is mentioned the most in the book of Daniel, and his identity is best revealed here. In Daniel chapter 12 verse 1, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one shall be found written in the book." Now, for further context, the entire chapter, Daniel chapter 11, details the history of the earth through the succession of kingdoms. So this verse presents the final ruler over earth, which we know to be none other than Jesus Christ. He who will stand for his people and deliver those whose name is found in the book. And we know this book to be the book of life according to Revelation. So let's recap, right? Because I know some of you all may not be able to follow what it is I'm saying. Michael leads the fight against Lucifer in heaven. His name literally means who is like God. He rebukes Satan in a similar fashion to Jesus in the desert. He is a heavenly being with the power to raise the dead. He is the one who will come at the end of time to gather the saints whose name is written in the book of life. Michael is none other than Jesus Christ. Now, if I still have not convinced your mind, what would your answer be to the question, who does Lucifer need to defeat in order to rule over earth? And the simple answer is Jesus Christ. You know it, and I know it in our hearts. That is the truth. So, what does this mean? This means that literally the defeat of Jesus Christ was televised on the Lucifer Netflix series. The devil won. The devil proceeded to rule over earth and have all people bow down to him, including Jesus. And that is not okay. That would not fly if it is people knew who Michael really was, if people knew what really transpired. But people weren't aware, but now you are, and eventually these things would become even more overt. Right now it is still being hidden, but the fact of the matter is people have so little truth and understanding of God and of the Bible that these things are occurring that is so outlandish and blasphemous, and it's just flying under the radar. And we as Christians need to be more vigilant. We need to point out this blatant travesty that is happening on television and on social media. So I implore you to share this with your friends, your family, your network, because I'm pretty sure a lot of this is happening. A lot of these deep and convoluted lies are just being pushed out there without people realizing what is truly happening, and it cannot stand, and we need to do something about this before it's too late. We don't want to reach a point in society where this could be done to the extent of it not even being like hidden, with it being outright, and we may be reaching to that point. So as long as we have these free platforms and some amount of free speech, I will be utilizing them. However, in the event of anything happening, I do have my own podcast website, and the audio version of this is found on several podcast players, and these are platforms and that I am paying for. You can also join an email list so that you'll still be able to hear from me in the event that any of the free platforms that I am on doesn't like the messages that I would be sharing. So you can check those out. I do have more podcast episodes than I would have videos, so if you want more in-depth conversations, they will be on the Christian Chemist podcast. So feel free to connect with me on social media. I do plan to have audio rooms on the platforms that are rolling out these features, such as Facebook, Twitter, and maybe even LinkedIn. And if Clubhouse is still relevant, I will be on there as well. So I look forward to hearing from you, and always remember to, above all else, seek God yourself and read the Bible. He will reveal truth to you. Until next time.